I hope he considers a change of direction.
So this is Coach Danny talking.
Coach Danny talking. Like, especially when you don't – it is interesting because these guys don't have the time to check evals like they would in a World Tournament. And so if you're just joining us, everyone, one of the storylines is that Wesley So won the first game as black in that line, but he should have lost. But you don't have time to know that, right? These guys don't repeat bad lines if they have a rest day, they have over-the-board chess to review, right?
I'm going to defer to you in this game. Do you recognize this?
Maxime Vachier-Lagrave lost a huge game to a fellow – player from Azerbaijan currently competing in the World Cup final, Timur Rajabov. I analyzed this game pretty deeply in our YouTube channel if you want to go there and check it out. I wouldn't say my analysis is as good as a 𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬, but I do my best. So go check out that game if you want and see what happened here. So he's taking – okay, he goes for the main line. Now, Rajabov played the move bishop to d3, which I applauded as I analyzed the line pretty deeply as a pretty serious improvement, given that the bishop in a lot of lines wasn't needed to develop. And you play e5, and this seemed like a pretty significant improvement. But okay, Mamedyarov is playing exactly the line that's been established most. The retreat is often met with a queen out, and eventually you play for f4 and e5, and this knight finds the e4 square. That's the whole kind of strategic idea.
Right, you drew those arrows so quickly. And
that's because I know this line. I have ideas inside of me. They come out.
And yeah, it does. That line that Rajabov played against MVL, he crushed him. He really just, that was a very
if you missed that game, it literally was the game that sent our boy Maxime home, or I guess to the consolation match, and clinched Rajabov's spot in the candidates. So this line with Queen G2 is exactly how it goes. Black typically plays Bishop D6. Okay, this line is scoring okay for White. And by the way, Mamedyarov is one of the players who's regularly featured this in classical games. So this is a line he knows. But I really liked Rajabov's improvement. So interesting that someone who clearly knows his countrymen's games. Right? Mamedyarov doesn't play what Raja did. So.
And I have obviously no proof of it, but a lot of top players from countries, if they're friends, they work together on certain lines or train. So it's very possible that they have practiced together. But judging from the time usage, it doesn't feel like Mamedyarov is super comfortable just yet in this line.
Well, one of the key differences here, if we want to get real deep, somehow I randomly actually know the advanced theory of an opening, but one of the key differences is the fact that knight c6 was played. Often the e6 move order that's different. The knight's purpose of staying on b8 is to make sure that b6 enforces bishop a6 so that these light square bishops being traded makes sure that black feels comfortable not getting checkmated, meaning he gets these bishops off the board, so he's not worried about the attack really. And I'm realizing now the fact that Mamedyarov played a different move order means what we're seeing here is the fact that he's possibly a little more worried about the attack because he doesn't have b6 and bishop a6 anymore.
Right.
So he actually does decide to get the queens off the board rather than the move bishop d6 and running into f4 and e5, because this bishop can come to d3 in these lines because it's not going to be traded via this idea.
But it would be a mistake to think that this endgame doesn't have attacking chances, because look at Wesley So's last move, rook h5.
The g-pawn.
Just saying rook d1 to h1, pawn to g5, and we've been talking about this from Mamedyarov's perspective in other games, just breaking open the h-file and trying to deliver a checkmating attack.
Yeah. I really like this move, rook h5. Here comes g5 and rook h1. I need to get a g5 exclam emote.
Yeah, you only have g4.
Man, shame on me. But this actually looks really hard to deal with.
Yeah, I'm actually not entirely sure how black is going. Oh, knight d4 is a threat.
Aha, very nice. Let's point that out, right? Okay, I think this move just stops it, because now knight d4 can be met by bishop d1. But just to point out the idea, if you take, we have discovered check, shock and bake.
Schachenbach. You're stealing my Schachenbach?
Schachenbach. He's probably listening to Bach at the dental office right now.
That's honestly, if people want to get better at chess, watching Schach's game while listening to some classical music sounds like a pretty good time.
Super GM chess, some classical music, no kids. Sign me up. Oh, man. Vacation.
I'm really not getting involved in this conversation.
Yeah. You've spent enough time in my home over the last 48 hours to know. Last night, my wife had to, like Robert's there. She said, I'm taking a break. And she just, stepped outside.
She earned it.
She
more than earned it.
Right. Oh, 3-year-old problems. Anyway, rook h1, threatening g5, and as we said, meeting knight d4 with bishop d1. I like So's chances here. I think Mamedyarov needs to not repeat this line. His countryman taught him with the white pieces that you shouldn't play this line.
King f8, so just trying to run away, but g5 is a bit of an issue. So he's just going to go down a pawn. I think that's what's going to happen here. He's going to go king e8, give up the h-pawn, and try to survive this pawn down endgame, but it doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I like White's position. Wesley taking his time, wondering whether he even needs to rush g5 or find some other sort of subtle improving move. I'm going to venture a guess that based on just Radjabov's play and when I looked into this line, dude, I don't think this line is going to be played by Black much longer in the high levels of chess.
We just totally kind of had a little slip of the mind. Instead, he went king b1 because g5. He just would have went bishop takes g5 and cleared the e7 square for his king.
LOL. So there was no mate coming.
That just is...
meaning don't take with the h-pawn, kids.
Yep. But bishop takes, frees the e7 square, so it's not mate, and now
but,
Black
okay, even this, White's still a little better, but yeah, unnecessary to make that trade. You don't want to do that. So king b1, patience pays off. Black is going to try to slow down g5, but will maintain himself a little bit worse. Now e6 is a target that comes to mind. I was going to say f4 and bishop c4 on the agenda.
I like it.
I love it.
You want some more of it?
Oh, I try.
I'm not continuing this.
So hard.
I know what the next line is, but I couldn't keep it going.
Hey, never go full Tim McGraw. You just passed my test.
You just want to go full Gavin DeGraw instead, right?
Oh, my God. Don't ever mention that name. All right. e5. Now the question is, do you go for something nasty with g5? I still don't think so. But the problem that Wesley's considering here is f5 ends up becoming one of those moves, everyone, you wish you could have back. Yeah, because if you do this, you're saying, now I'm never going to get g5. Right. And you don't want that. So g3 by Wesley, hindsight makes perfect sense. Maintain this tension. Keep the cards available that you want here. Now you're threatening to take. The pawn is pinned.
There's some ideas with rook takes d2, but that's why he went rook to f1, because he eliminated the threat of bishop takes e4 check, hitting a rook on h1.
Mm-hmm.
So removing that knight doesn't actually win black any material now, so it's probably not a good
just show
choice.
that real quick. If White does something like, hey, I'm going to do this, rook takes d2 and bishop takes e4 is a new kind of problem.
Yep. And we have Vidit Chess in the chat.
Classic Vidit. He'll be playing in the Fisher Random World Chess Championship quarterfinal, October 4th through 6th, only on chess.com. Can we show the graphic? That sounded really inappropriate if we don't show the graphic. Thank you, Art. Oh, gosh. Okay. Save me. There he is, Vidit. Good-looking guy in that John Travolta 70s collar pop. If he wins, Vidit, if you win the quarterfinal, I want to see a Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta.
I knew you were going there. I was like, I just couldn't put Vidit in the Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. It's a Photoshop challenge. Put Vidit's face on John Travolta's body, and you get a diamond membership. Take that, Eric. Okay, wait, no, I'm kidding. Eric loves when I give it away. Oh, man.
It's been interesting little king back and forth for both sides here. King went from g8 to f8 back to g8.
Yep.
That king went from c1 to b1 back to c1.
Yeah, a little shuffle back and forth.
Yeah, they're just missing their squares.
Yep.
But now it's a free pawn. He took on e5. Well, I don't call it so free. I mean, black's got some counterplay and bishop e8. No. But e takes f6.
Yeah, take here first for sure. Maybe even go full sack. Let's do it. Take, boomtown. I want it.
You're getting crazy.
Yo, you getting crazy, girl.
I love when you just laugh like that.
That's the laugh of Danny has more going on his head than he can reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm kidding. All right. Back up. What's going on D takes e5, f takes e5?
That's a great question.
Maybe then g5, actually, because there's bishop g4 ideas with tempo. Look at that. Here comes g5 and bishop g4. Good. Called it. Love it. Take it. Play bishop g4. Why are we whispering?
I don't know, because you're doing it.
Because I called it.
You did call it.
But I love it.
There's also rook to h1 at some moment.
Yes.
Knight f3 hits both e5 and g5.
Yes.
Please stop. Please stop.
Oh, man. Knight f3. Here we go. Take. As my kids would say, they go, let's go. That's like the new thing people say.
I feel like that's not new at all. Also, Shach is 15 seconds left.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's a problem. All right. Put the rook on f2, go back to f8.
There have been many problems, and Shach's time is only one.
Only one.
And a very small one relative to all
Yeah,
this.
I was going to say. Okay, you don't want to take it because you don't want the rook to come to h5. And then
Bishop
you
a6.
Although you could put it on e6 and threaten.
Bishop a6 and then play b4.
Oh, what a nice move. Oh, you found it.
Yeah, he's going to do it.
You dirty dog.
b4.
I love it when you find strong grandmaster moves.
b4. Just remove that knight away.
B4 and then bishop c4 check is lights out. The whole point, everyone, is the knight has to move, the bishop comes back. If the king has to go to h8, rook f8 is mate.
There it is.
That's a problem. Game over, Red Rover. Oh, man, this is going to be a good
He's
day.
letting him mate him?
I called it out, too. Play one more move.